Has this video just been a massive excuse for me buying myself more Jellycats? Yes. Am I actually going to bake today? Yes. Thank God she's finally baking on a baking channel that has 800,000 subscribers. How have I got it this far without baking? Anyways, I'm in my current home kitchen, and before you say anything, yes, there's going to be dust particles flying around, okay? It's not a professional bakery. I'm going to try my best with the resources that I have, and if you expect me to make puff pastry today, don't. But I'm going to try, and I'm going to start off with the tarte au fraiche. I had to look up how to pronounce that earlier. Okay, let's go. This is the happy... Whoa. I'm turning into like I'm from Twilight. This is the happy little guy. He's a tarte au fraiche, and I'm going to start off by making the pastry base just because that has to cool in the oven. In the fridge. If you ever want to see how a baker writes their recipes, this is what it looks like. Okay, let's start off with butter. This is not my professional kitchen, neither are these my professional knives. It's also missing its tip. Okay, never mind. Let's cut a piece of this butter. I'm going for 130 grams. For once, it's actually warm in the country of Ireland today, so this butter is going to soften really fast. I'm hoping it softens enough by the time that I have to beat it, but we'll see. I might have to microwave it. 159, one more gram. One more gram. 161. I tried, okay? Now I need sugar. How much sugar do I need? Whoa! I just tripped over my own PJs. And I need 65 grams of sugar. I got 66, are you joking? I'm 1 gram over on everything. Now I need to beat these together until they're pale and creamy. Ooh, it's like church bells. We're not gonna judge this whisk today, okay? It's actually older than me. God, if my health inspector saw me using an extension cord. Okay. That's why. Okay, I think that's good. I'm just gonna leave it there, okay? Don't judge it. Okay, so now I need 2 egg yolks, and my eggs are here. This is my least favorite part of baking, separating eggs. I always somehow mess it up. You see this long stringy bit that never detaches properly? That's actually called the chalaze, and it suspends the egg yolk to stop it from breaking when you're transporting it. I flung some egg yolk somewhere. Okay, it's fine. Now I need 220 grams of plain flour. Or if you're American, all-purpose. Now, I'm just going to beat these together with my mixer again. I feel like I'm in a rave with all the smoke. Oh boy, I'm making a mess today. Now it should be this kind of crumbly texture. I'm going to try and form it together with my hands. If it doesn't go together, I'll add some very cold water and then it should come into a paste. You want a pretty stiffish dough. Now, see? It has come together into one big dough, and then I'm going to refrigerate this. You want to put it down as thin as possible because that means it'll cool faster. Also, while this cools for the next half an hour, I'm going to make a pastry cream. Don't know how I'm going to film this. I'll try my best, okay? This is 600 mils of milk. Or 612. It doesn't matter that much, I hope. Crisis averted, I found some sugar, so I need 100 grams of this. 104 grams, it's fine. How am I getting my degree and I can't even measure something? I am going to switch my ring on over here, my hob, so I can actually get started on heating this up. I'm going to heat this, and just as it comes to a boil, I'm going to take it off. Shake it up, shake it up. Okay, 45 grams of this. 42, okay, we're almost there. 53, it's fine. Never follow my advice, okay? I didn't sneeze, what do you mean? You will need a heat-proof spoon for this, okay? You don't want to burn yourself. While that's starting to heat up, I'm going to make almost a slurry, it's called. It's a cornstarch mixture. I'm going to put it in with some egg yolks and some vanilla bean extract. I sound so professional right now. Isn't this just gorgeous? It's like €7 worth of vanilla bean paste. It almost broke my bank account yesterday in the line in Tesco's, but I digress, it's worth it. What else do I need? Egg yolks. Again? Are you joking? People got really annoyed at me in the last video because I blew into a piping bag. Did you guys really think I was going to use that piping bag after I blew into it? No, it was just a demonstration. It was just a demonstration, okay? 5 egg yolks. I use these baby bowls religiously in cooking because they're dishwasher safe and they're small. The lack of noise coming from my creme pat right now is nerve-wracking. This is how you don't get egg yolk on your spoon. I feel very professional. Okay, it has boiled, and now that it has boiled, I'm just gonna set it over here and continue on with making my gorgeous slurry. I need 40 grams of corn flour. Anything under about 40 grams, I would be measuring with measuring spoons or anything equivalent of that, a teaspoon, a tablespoon, just because scales can never really register at such a low weight. Right now it's saying 40, but I feel like that's a little bit more than 40. I'm just using a fork and I'm mashing these together until it becomes like a paste. You always want to kind of mix corn flour, cornstarch it's called in America, with a liquid before you add it into another liquid, because it will turn into just a clumpy mess and you definitely don't want that in a custard or a creme pat. Now that it is looking pretty smooth, I'm just going to add a teaspoon of this into the slurry. Now I'm just going to add it back into the milk and butter mixture and sugar, and I'm also just going to bring it back to almost a boil, but nothing too extreme, nothing that's going to burn it. You keep the egg yolks and all separate. You don't just throw it in the saucepan all at once to get it done faster, because you'll cook the eggs and you'll get a chunky custard with cooked egg yolk bits in it. Not very nice, not very pleasant. It is now a thick and lumpy custard. I'm going to set this aside and then I'm going to grab my pastry and roll it out. I'm just using these tart wheels for the tarts. I've put the pastry in their pastry cases, but every time I try and show you guys, it tips off, and I've done that already twice. But I'm going to put these in the freezer to let them set before I put them in the oven, because otherwise they'll just be a melty mess, okay? Next up, we're going to make the mousse for the framboise. It's going to be strawberry, not raspberry. Framboise tart. I was gonna say I was gonna use these strawberries. I bought these 2 days ago, so I do have other strawberries. I think I might use them. Okay, so I've got my strawberries in this saucepan, and I'm gonna measure out 70 grams of sugar and then a little bit of lemon juice. Now, this lemon has seen better days. It's probably about a month old, but it'll have some juice in it and it'll be good. Okay, yeah, and then 2 tablespoons of water as well, and then I'm gonna boil it. Cool. Oh my god. This lemon is uncuttable. Oh, I got it. This is the driest lemon I've ever seen in my entire life. I know I don't have very strong arms, but whoa, oh, it's gone down my sleeve. 70 grams of sugar. Cool, 71, of course. And then a very small amount of water. Now I'm going to boil it over there. I'm also going to mash it, and it should turn into a paste. And just as it comes to a boil, I'll take it off. God, it is really not easy to mash strawberries. I would advise to the 4 people that are going to make this, use frozen strawberries. They mush much easier. Oh, I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. This smells amazing. How am I going to show you this without tipping it all over my counter? I've whipped out my iPad camera just for this. Look how beautiful this is. Oh my goodness, where's the, oh my god, it was way off. Look how beautiful this is. Okay, I'm gonna mash this and then put it through a sieve. Appetizing. This is simply just to remove all of the seeds from the mousse. It's not to remove the fruit, just because you don't want little crunchy bits in your mousse. That'd be gross. While I've been sieving this through, I've also been blooming some gelatin in this saucepan. I've just put in about 4 or 5 tablespoons of water and 5 grams of gelatin, and it's just going to turn into this gross, gelatinous, oddly enough, mixture. And I'm going to put this into this. Great terminology, Alice. I'm going to put the gelatin into the strawberry liquid. Yeah, that'll work. I had to buy these pretty pricey molds, especially for this guy, so you better work out, okay? I'm going to beat all 500 mils of this cream, but I'm only going to keep 200 mils for the raspberry, and then the other half of this is going to go on top, this little strawberry tart. I think that made sense. I'm also allergic to cream, so this is not very fun. Okay, cream is done. I'm going to let this strawberry liquid cool, and then I'm going to add half of this to this and put it in the molds. I need to put the pastry tarts in the oven. That's what I forgot to do. They are frozen solid, but time to go in the oven. I'm just going to test the temperature. Don't do this, by the way, if you're not professional. It's cold. So I'm going to add this raspberry syrup, into the cream. that looks good, but to get the actual colour we need, I will show you this lovely pink. Because I am using raspberries and strawberries don't have a lot of pigment in them, I'm going to use food colouring. I wouldn't advise using food colouring in cream, but we gotta do what we gotta do for the Jellycat. I actually have the perfect colour that never works out for me. Do they look similar? Maybe a tiny bit darker. They're pretty similar. Maybe the lighting is different, but when it gets cold, it will go darker. I think that pink is pretty good. You see, I would pipe it, but piping always tends to get me so many air bubbles, so I think just scooping it in and flattening it out with my spoon might be a better option. I don't have all my fancy equipment, so I am using a €1 spatula from IKEA, but it works. It's a little bit of a messy job, but I'm gonna put these into the freezer and hopefully they'll become domes. Okay, we've had a little bit of a stressful time. Now it's time to relax. I'm going to use store-bought pastry. I'm sorry, I know it's a sin, but I do not have time to spend 4 hours making puff pastry, okay? I do it quite often and I never want to do it again. But we are going to cut out the base for this little framboise dome, is that what it's called? Yes, pretty dome framboise. And also, using the same pastry, the layers for the millefeuille. I like to call it a millefeuille because of the way it's spelt, but it is actually called a millefeuille. We're gonna do that, okay? I'm gonna use puff pastry. I'm gonna use store-bought, okay? Don't judge me, I'm sorry. I know it's a sin. It's okay. I'm gonna move this chopping board just because I feel as though this pastry is gonna be bigger than it. That was never there. Okay, woo, crisis averted. Had to run to make sure my tarts didn't get burned. They're slightly charred, but not burned, okay? Now I'm going to cut this puff pastry into a couple slices. I think I need 4 layers of pastry for the millefeuille. And then I also have to cut out the base for this guy. So I'm gonna try that now. I am going to use him as a template, don't judge me. Okay, that long and a bit that wide, and I need 4 of them. Perfect. I'm just going to place these onto a lined tray and make sure to space them out so they don't stick to each other when they're baking. So I've just cut out a really bad circle template that is a little bit bigger than the base of this framboise tart, and I'm going to stick it to the pastry and then cut it out and then also do the exact same thing that I'm doing to the millefeuille to the circles, just to make the base of this guy. He's so cute. While the other pastry is cool, I'm going to spread some melted butter, some raisins and some cinnamon sugar over this store-bought puff pastry, and I'm going to roll it into pretty much the size of this pan au raisin and bake it, obviously. I want to put a decent amount of sugar in, not because you're supposed to, just because it's preference. I've just been defeated by a raisin bag. Oh, it's the knife with no tip. I'm going to cut it about this thick and then roll it and roll it on top of each other until I get the size of this guy. I don't know if I'm making any sense today, but you'll see. This is going to be one beefy pan au raisin. What a big beefy guy. Okay, I'm going to flatten it out a little bit and then I'm going to bake it long and slow. Do I have a tin that will fit this? Yeah. You see the way I flattened it out to about the same size as the pan au raisin. And into the oven you go, my precious. I've saved some of the jelly that went in the mousse to put in the bottom of these strawberry tarts. How amazing do the cases look? Yes, they're a little bit charred, but it's okay. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of the jelly at the bottom of these. Now to fill them with creme pâtissier. Why aren't my scissors working? Give me 1 second. I got it. Now for the whipped cream. I want to put a pretty decent amount on, just because he's a tall guy. I'm putting 1 full strawberry in the center and then just 2/4 either side, just to pat it out a little bit, because there's 5 strawberries on top of this guy and I can't fit that. I will wait a couple minutes and then I'll put the little faces on them, but they're so cute. I love how they turned out. For the decoration of the millefeuille, you literally just have to melt fondant to get this icing. It's still no easier after 2 years of bakery school to open a piping bag. This requires ultimate precision. Not really, I'm kind of being sarcastic. When life gets stressful, I have to switch off the camera and actually try and do things. So I managed to do the top of the milfoil as best I can, and then now I'm going to assemble it. This is the part I'm nervous over. I'm going to do a line of cream down the center. Now a line of creme pat. This is terrifying. Oh my gosh. Wow, that is a tall milfoil. I should have probably taken out one layer, but we're going by what Jellycat have done. I can't believe it stood up. Oh my god. I almost completely forgot to show you guys the pan au raisin. He is glorious. I'm just gonna put him over here because he's really, really hot and it's burning my fingers. This is the guy I have been most nervous about. Oh my god. Okay, they will come out the mold. Oh, I've been sitting here at my desk going, this is not gonna come out of the molds, and it. Okay, so we'll sit him on top of this. Okay, looking good, looking good. I'm gonna move these aside. And then he has his little strawberry to go on top. Oh, he's so cute. They are looking slightly similar. This is the hardest thing I've ever done. Oh my god, he's so cute. Oh, oh my god. 6 painstakingly long hours later, they're all finished. Would I be serving these at my bakery? No, because of how long they take. Will I eat all of these in the next 20 minutes? Yeah. I'm so happy with how they turned out.